impi chirianista ya kusalanga ya kumana baisa mukutube paikara chirianista ya kusalanga ya kwana baisa mukutuse.
Good morning. It's the 10th of August 2026, Monday, with only 3 days to go. 3 days to go before we go to the poll on Thursday, the 13th of August, the day that we've waited for so long. And welcome to this last episode of our election tips and insights series. Now today you're gonna hear a bit of noise, a lot of background noise, because I'm doing this session from a public place, and yeah, of course we had to do this session as promised, but don't mind the background noise. I hope and I'll make sure that you're able to hear me regardless of the noise in the background. Now, before we get into today's session, I just want to say, the past week plus or so has been quite sad and very disheartening. Looking at the pockets of political violence we recorded, particularly the attacks on my brother General Kanene H. That was very, 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 very bad, and I pray that whoever is behind that is going to be punished accordingly, in line and according to the laws. And we saw the gunshots and stoning in Kema and so much happening. Recently, I think just a day ago or so, we even saw a teacher being harassed for hiring out their vehicle, which was a purely business deal, and no one should really harass anyone for doing such a deal, whether they done the deal with the opposition or with the ruling party. It's just business, man. Let's stop victimizing our own people for doing nothing wrong. So there's been so much that has been happening, and that is not really the Zambia that we want. That's not the Zambia that we want. Political violence should never ever have a place in our society, because these elections come and go, and at the end of it all, we remain brothers and sisters, we remain neighbors, we remain friends, we remain Zambians, we remain humans created in the image of God. So we don't have to kill or hate, insult or disrespect each other over politics. Politics is about ideas, it's about leadership, and not a matter of life and death. Therefore, this week and beyond, tapapata. Okay, let us remember that there is life beyond this politics. There is life beyond this politics. We shall remain friends, we shall remain neighbors, we shall remain Zambians at the end of the day. So please, there's no need to victimize, to disrespect, to insult, to do all these funny things just for the sake of elections. Vote for your preferred candidate in peace, and no need to look down or disrespect your neighbors. Okay? With that said, today's session we are going to discuss the common offenses that would send you to jail or to prison on election day. Okay? What are the offenses that are committed during the day of voting that can get you in trouble or send you behind bars or send you to jail? Okay, so I just want to give a highlight of this, so that as you go to the poll on Thursday to vote, please make sure that you conduct yourself in a way that is dignified, in a way that does not put your life, the lives of others, and also put the credibility of the electoral process in jeopardy. Okay, so number one, canvassing of votes within the radius of 400 meters of a polling station during the polling day. Mwaenda mkuvota, instead yoenda chabe mkuvota, mwafika, mwachita bwanji, mwayambo shitachani, mwayambo campaign, within the polling station, mwayambo chama campaign, mwayambo oza bantu chite bwanji, uyo ni murandu. My campaign yazasila 18 hours before the polling day nishima campaign yasira imwe mkaenda vota, focus on voting, not kuyambo campaign kuyambo chita chita, especially within the radius of 400 meters away from the polling station. That is not allowed. Secondly, putting up a political notice or a sign within a radius of 100 meters of a polling station during polling day, mwaenda mwambofaka maposta chifukwa siyanasire mwambo chita bwanji, that is not allowed. That is an offense and is punishable by law. Okay? And also kuli bantu who are lied to, who think they can vote more than twice. Wavota ufuna futu bwerereko indoka vote round 2. Once you are discovered that you are even attempting to do that, even just the thought of you doing that is a crime on its own. Don't even think about going to vote twice, no matter how much you love your candidate, no matter how much you love Bali or whoever your candidates are in your area. Don't attempt to go and vote twice. Ni mulandu, muzamangiwa bamanga, ni mulandu bazakumangani. Okay? Also, when you go to vote, coming out with a ballot paper or coming with a ballot paper either in or out of the polling station, mwaenda mkuvota o mwachoka kwe mwachoka kapena mwadobera ka ballot paper or mwachita bwanji mfuno bwera nako polling station, once you are found with that ballot paper, that is an offense. You are not supposed to be found with any election material if you are not authorized to handle election materials on that election day. Okay? Then tearing up or defacing or destroying a ballot paper, okay, or like I've said, going out of the polling station with that ballot paper or mwaingamba ballot paper chifuka mamvera chifukushuro mashita bwanji, uyo ni mulandu. That's an offense. Don't ever tamper with the ballot papers. Don't tamper with the ballot papers. The ballot papers are sacred. The electoral materials are sacred materials that should not be tampered with by anyone. Okay? And removing anything from a ballot box before the time for counting or to damage the ballot boxes. You know you're excited, you damage the ballot box, or don't tamper, like I've said, don't tamper with any election materials. It is an offense. It is an offense to tamper with any election material. Also, loitering or refusing to leave a polling station after being directed to do so. Mwavota bakuzana ati okay, endani manje mwavota chokanponi pa polling station, endani kwemuyenda. If the presiding officer has ordered you to leave the polling station because of misconduct or because of any act that may jeopardize the electoral process and you've been ordered to leave and you are refusing to do so, you can be arrested for doing that. So loitering, refusing to leave the polling station when you are told, Vane, chokampon, don't disturb, or you are disturbing chokampon panel, and you don't do that, that, ladies and gentlemen, is an offense. Once you are ordered to leave the polling station, leave. Endani chokamponi, mavota, or we are misbehaving, chokamponi, once you are ordered to do so. Otherwise, that will land you in jail, that will land you in trouble. Okay? Another big offense, especially for excited political cadres and political players or political party members, attempting or persuading the returning officer or presiding officer to make false counts or declaration of results. Muba yofyano wafya mama sipo 70 ngatamwa bikirepo weekend po tuma vote tufuleko tu abana ni uko shani mulandu ngumulandu no bantu bajundu ambike tuma hoti tuhule twamudala weekend po tufuleko tu amukambona ni kanoyo big shani. That's an offense just by you saying that, not because they've increased, but because you have persuaded the returning officer or presiding officer to alter the results. Aramula ndu kalamba tekwesha mutasoli. Okay? And then, like I've said, we have relatives, brothers, or family members who have died, or we've lost some of them before the election day, don't attempt to vote for them. Never attempt to vote for a person who is deceased or for another person or any person. Don't ever, even if mupalana na muntu huyo, don't attempt to vote for another person or to vote on another person's name. For example, if someone who is sick or has died and you want to go and vote for them, that is an offense. Once you are discovered to attempt to vote on someone's name, bazaku mangani, muzamangiwa, without even thinking twice about it. So tekwesha mutasoli unga mukuhotela muntu natolinduwe wakalembwa kutuka hote. Tekwesha ukuyavotera omuntu pantu nalwala nangula balitusha nangula taliko emwe mubule nomba voters card yakwe na NRC yakwe emwe mumuvotera. Tekwesha okuchitevyo. Don't ever attempt to vote for another person. Don't ever attempt to do that. Okay? Finally, putting or attempting to put into a ballot box anything other than a ballot paper, that is an offense. Mwabwera manje chifuka ndimwe bagayi, mwabwera na kapena muli na chipepa china nguswana chione, mufuno taira ballot box, or for whatever reason you want to put anything that is not supposed to be in that ballot box other than the ballot papers, and you are discovered and you are seen that ndiwe wachita hivyo, uyo ni mulandu. Monga na kambira, election materials are sacred. Election materials are sacred. The electoral election process is sacred. Election day is very important, because that determines the future of the country. The future of the country depends on the election in Zambia. So tekwa kutwaliro mungulu kuma election. Tekwa kutwaliro obupuba kuma election. Okay? Any person who commits any of these offenses will either be fined or imprisoned or both. Okay? Or both. Or you are going to face imprisonment, you are going to be fined. Pantu ama election mwema kombe amfumute ya kuangalira ko te kwa kutwalire chimpwena kuma elections. Elections are very important. Te kwa kutwalo mungulu. Therefore, as we have or as we go to vote this Thursday, please behave in an orderly manner. Let us conduct ourselves in a way that is going to enhance the credibility, the transparency of our election, so that we vote for our leaders in peace. Okay? Tiwabwezepo mwamtendere osati mwachongo. Okay? So please, na papata, conduct ourselves in a way that is dignified to make sure that we add credibility, enhance the credibility of this election. This wraps up our series on elections. This wraps up the election tips and insights with me, Kabanse. It's been a great joy to share the little knowledge, the little information that I know about elections, and I wish you all the best as we vote in this year's election. Remember, Bali is the right and the best man for the job. So make your vote count and vote correctly. Have yourselves a great one and all the best with the elections this Thursday. Thank you.
Batekanya kwatitebo basakala nyongo ngabayiringanya kwatitebo bapompwe ngabayisa mukulombe poti bayichefya ngapushi walokwa ngabati banakirire batekanye kwatite bali abachimeko.